Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to LegendBTV, where we go for music discussion, comedy, and more. Today, we're back with another album review. Today, we've got the new album from 5 Seconds of Summer called Youngblood. Wow, okay, we've got a big one today, folks. The third album from 5 Seconds of Summer. After hearing their sophomore album, Sounds Good, Feels Good, and even receiving it as a special gift from someone, thank you by the way, the album was in general solid and definitely had some really good standout songs, such as She's Kinda Hot. Still jam to that to this day, by the way, and I ain't embarrassed to be saying that. And although I didn't hear the debut album in full, I definitely still jam to She Looks So Perfect every time it comes on the radio. And also their sophomore single, Amnesia, was also a really tear-jerking, really beautiful song in fact. And yeah, I'm just like, wow. That hook still got in my head ever since I heard it in junior high. And I was like, oh my god, it's a bop, but it's also a sad bop. But that was a few years ago. And yeah, yes, this band has changed a lot since then. So in terms of this album, I was definitely cautious about listening to it because of the lead singles and the way they sounded. Also because of this.
What the hell happened to 5 Seconds of Summer? They decided they want to follow in the mold of Maroon 5 or Zayn?
Yeah, I definitely really did enjoy Want You Back because it is very catchy and that chorus definitely gets stuck in your head. But even though it is definitely a really solid first single, I did notice in the song the guitars started to become not as big of a priority for the group's sound, and that, yeah, we were really just kind of losing their guitars and their rock sound. And I wasn't really approving that if it was going to be a trend for this group, because I really did love the crushy, really like rocking, like, oh yeah, kind of like riffs that we've come to know and love from 5 Sauce. The riffs have always been super slick and catchy and really just what we love about 5 Sauce. But you know, I was like, okay, this is just one single. And yes, you know, like I said, I really did like the new sound change. But then I was like, okay, maybe they'll come back to more of that old sound on this new record. But unfortunately, the watering down of the guitars was definitely even more noticeable on the second single of this album, Youngblood. In fact, in the chorus of this song, it's pretty much just nothing but these like reverb-heavy guitars and like this really in-your-face beat that just, yeah, really almost carries no melody at all. It sings any melody it actually does have way to the back of the mix. Yet somehow, the vocal melody of this track definitely packs a punch, and it is absolutely fantastic. Definitely brings it up to being one of the best tracks on this album. Now that brings us to 2018's Youngblood. And yes, on this record, instrumentally, guitar does take a back seat. Because it's not mainstream, and yeah, they gotta make their money somehow. But I've decided to judge it as is, as a mostly pop album. Yeah, the following track, Lie to Me, follows a trend of having the guitars carry more of a lighter melody in terms of the more like rocking, harder, in-your-face melodies the first two albums endorsed more. A song about asking a girl if she loves him when he knows she doesn't, but then instead of him just being like, okay girl, just let me have it, tell me you don't love me, he instead goes for, oh, well, I want you to lie to me. While I don't approve of that message, I think the production here is overall passable, so I don't think this is truly a bad track here. But I really feel like, yeah, that's pretty unhealthy to just be pretty much fed lies to and enjoy it. But whatever, moving on. Despite shoving the melodies once again way to the back of the mix, the loud percussion of Talk Fast is definitely really catchy. So yeah, that one is a bop. God, for taking 2 whole years off, they don't see many signs of maturing lyrically. Because this next track definitely rubs me the wrong way. Is it bad that I'm hoping you're broken? Is it bad I'm hoping you still haven't found fish in the ocean? Yes, it's bad! Especially because later he reveals that he ended the relationship. That makes the already immature mentality of the song just insufferable. Like, for real, if you want this girl back, try just talking to her about it. You don't have to just wish that she never finds anybody again. You can just be mature about it and either just talk to her about it or just let her go. The track following, however, does show a nice attempt at trying to rock at least a little bit harder. Sure, of course, the guitars are overproduced, but it's a nice dancey kind of pop rock breakdown that I can definitely get behind. Woo! Yeah. See what I mean? Now I want to get into probably the worst track on this album, which is Why Won't You Love Me? A track that reaches AJR levels of insufferable, which even includes a hook that sounds like it could have been made by them.
You know what? Is it good by pop standards? Well, no, it's not.
Thankfully, Woke Up in Japan has a fun beat and a nice little trickling guitar melody that really trickles and tickles my monkey ears quite nicely. But yeah, my worst part of this one is basically the beginning of the chorus because it really instrumentally just sounds pretty weak. Focused more on trap skitters of all things rather than actual guitar. I mean, thankfully the rest of the chorus saves it, but yeah, for that beginning there, I'm just left kind of bored. I'm like underwhelmed. Overall, while this album does feature some of Five Sauce's best and catchiest songs to date, it honestly to me doesn't really feature much of a growth or progression in sound. And sadly, more like an album made just to keep them in the spotlight. You know, for 5 more seconds of summer. It's a pretty middle of the road album. I mean, there are some highlights, like I mentioned, there are some generally good tracks, but overall this is pretty disappointing as a whole. So yeah, it's getting a 5 out of 10 for me. Only a recommendation if you're curious. And yes, that is my album review of the newest from 5 Seconds of Summer. Yeah, not a great album, not a bad one, but yeah, overall just an average album. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I am LegendBTV. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. Leave a like. Go comment your thoughts down below this 5 Sauce. What do you think of their new sound? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you like Specky over there and didn't really enjoy it? Or whatever, I don't care. I'm out of here. See you next time on a brand new video. Thank you all for watching.